Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we'll be doing the Toronto Raptors off-season preview. So before we start today's video, I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you guys expect this off-season and why? And one of the interesting parts is going into next off-season, they already have the 9th most salary guaranteed. I want to hear those opinions and let's get into it. To me, I think the most interesting part about this team is what is the direction I think that needs to be figured out. I have thought that they could be the dark horses to go after Durant or whatever big name free agent that becomes not free agent, star player that becomes available. I think Kevin Durant would be them trying a little too hard. But if they think they can recreate the 2019 championship with all the players they have by packaging a couple of the contracts they have, then by all means, go for it. It'd be better than, building from the middle. So let me hear those opinions. Like, comment, and subscribe. Now, the Toronto Raptors, it seems like either this is what Vision 6-9 was or became, or they wanted to acquire assets before and figure out their core. They went 30-52. They love Darko Rajakovic. They picked up his option. They have the 7th best odds for #1 pick, and they have 1 second-round pick. Chris Boucher and Garrett Temple are unrestricted free agents. Garrett Temple might come back. They seem to really like him. And the Raptors acquired Brandon Ingram, and they gave him a 3-year deal for $120 million. He did have the option to go to Atlanta, but they were willing to give him an extension, just not that much. And Toronto took the proactive approach instead of going after players in free agency, as the Raptors did not have the cap space to sign Ingram outright without a trade. So Masai Ujiri is not going to bottom out, and Scottie Barnes to 6'9", 23, Emmanuel Quickly 25, RJ Barrett 24, Brandon is 27. They have a core, and Jakob Poeltl also is a top 15 center. I also like Jacoby Walter, Jamal Shed, Jamison Battle, and Jonathan Magbo. So this is a team that is over the tax and $1.3 million over the first apron. They can use up to the $5.6 million of their non-tax mid-level exception and the veteran minimum exception available. They also have the biannual exception, but they would be hard capped at the first apron. They also have a 2nd-round pick that we mentioned. And to me, I think they need to figure out what they're doing. Are they going to package players and go after a Durant? Are they going to even try to go for a bigger fish if somebody becomes available? I don't think anyone's going to become available, TBH. Or are they going to look to dump salary and try to sign someone in free agency? The only free agent I think they would sign is Santi Aldama. And you're like, why? Darko Rajakovic spent an entire summer living, or Santi Aldama went to Spain, and Darko Rajakovic came for 2 months and lived every single day in the same house with him and Zaire Williams. And they have a really close relationship, and his youth coach and his college coach are all friends with Darko. They basically are like bonded. So they could maybe dump salary, and he's expected to get 4 years 60 to 4 years 80. So maybe they believe he could be their power forward or front court player or 6-man. Now, in the small sample size of Quickly, Barnes, Barrett, and Poeltl together, Toronto averaged 102.2 points and were outscored by 8.5 points per 100 possessions. And the Raptors went 22-21 after January 13th, which was better than their 8-31 start. Also, Ochai Agbaji is one of the best multi-positional defenders, and as he was like top 10 in effective field goal percentage allowed, and he averaged 10 points, 4 rebounds. He's also a power forward for them now, and a combo forward. They moved his position, which was genius. Emmanuel Quickly, he was injured most of the year, but when he came back, he averaged 17-6 and shot 38% from 3. And I really think he's showing that he wasn't just a combo guard with point guard like skills, but he's a lead guard with a scoring punch, and he's improved as a playmaker. Right now, I think Grady Dick should come off the bench, but he's a floor spacing sharpshooter who's a little streaky, 35% from three, 14.5 points. RJ Barrett, a guy who can play, kind of an all-around player, but he likes to get downhill. And he's an emerging secondary playmaker. 5.5 assists, 6 rebounds, 21 points. Scottie Barnes averaged 19, almost 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.5 steals, 1 block. Just an all-around Swiss Army knife, the engine of the team, and he's able to initiate offense and anchor the defense. Jakob Poeltl in 30 minutes a night averaged 14.5 points, almost 10 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1.5 blocks, 63% from the field. Had a decently efficient year. He's an interior presence on offense and a solid defender on the other side. Now, Jamal Shead is a hustle guard who brings energy and pace. Ochai Agbaji is a 3-and-D combo forward who's a little bit undersized, who can start for them. Jonathan Marbury is an undersized, high motor big who even has a little bit of playmaking chops. So I really like that. And then Jacoby Walter was a rookie wing scorer who, shot 35% from 3, 9 points. I really like that. I thought that was huge for them. And I love Jamison Battle. He was a Portsmouth guy. He's a wing shooter with size. So to me, I think they've done a good job of finding pieces and addressing what would be needed. Now, who are some contracts that they might want to move? As Scottie Barnes is making 38, so is Brandon Ingram and Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to find a cheaper version of Mr. Jakob Poeltl. I don't know who would be the one that you would try to move him for, but the idea would be if you can find, and I'm trying to think of a team that might have an interest in acquiring a big like him. You could maybe think, and that's the thing is like one team, Houston, if they don't make any moves and they don't want to bring back Steven Adams, you could see if Jock Landale and Aaron Holiday, or just Jock Landale, would be someone that they would just want to swap, maybe give you some second rounders, and then you cut Landale, and that way you base it, because he has the non-guaranteed contract, and you can save $19 million off your sheet. And outside of that, and the reason why I would say is if you got rid of Poeltl, it would be to bring in, as I said earlier, Santi Aldama, as Poeltl is going to have a player option, and he's paid fine, $19.5 million for a guy of his caliber. But Santi's able to play the 5, and if you really want to go full into this transition lanky team, I think their idea would be then Santi, Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley. Right, Santi, Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, Scottie Barnes, Santi Aldama, RJ Barrett, Scottie Barnes, Brandon Ingram, and Emmanuel Quickley as your starting 5. And after that, you'd have Ochai Agbaji, Grady Dick as 6 and 7. Then in free agency, you can go out and get other players, but I think you would just promote Jacoby Walter, Jamal Shead, Jamison Battle, Jonathan Marbury, and that's already 11 dudes, and you still would have AJ Lawson and Colin Castleton that you can keep. That's 13. And you draft 2 dudes or 1 dude, put 3 dudes, then put 1 on a 2-way, and then bring back Jared Rhoden and obviously Ulrich Shamanchi. It's not a bad team. What do you guys think? That's basically my thoughts. I really think the one free agent they would go after, besides bringing back Garrett Temple, they said they had mutual interest in bringing back Chris Boucher, so who knows there if they're really thinking about bringing him back or if that was just obviously for show. I think it's all up to them. It's definitely an interesting one, but let me hear your thoughts.